soon as Zhang Yi made his move, the entire city was instantly enveloped by a dark rain. Massive amounts of black rain fell, piercing through the defense fields of the mass-produced machines and destroying the vast majority of them. However, Zhang Yi did not wipe them all out. He deliberately left a portion of intact units behind. Only by doing so could they capture complete units for research. The remaining units were left for others to handle. Bai Li Changqing and his team laboriously cleared away the leftover robots, though capturing intact ones required the expertise of Epsilon-level mutant. Lu Karen piloted her mech to Zhang Yi's side, beaming as she exclaimed, "Brother, did you see what I just did?" Her voice trembled with excitement. Zhang Yi smiled and nodded. "I saw. Karen, you did incredibly well." Truthfully, he'd been preoccupied with the colossal mechanical entity, but even in that brief glance, he'd witnessed the Snow Owl's formidable combat prowess. It proved that the massive resources expended hadn't been wasted. Lu Karen beamed. "I told you. I promised I'd give you a huge surprise this time. Just wait, I'll keep upgrading the mechas to make them easier to operate. Someday, we might even build an entire mech army." Zhang Yi's forehead creased with frustration. These things consumed resources like crazy, and each repair was ridiculously expensive. If he added 10 or 8 more units, maintaining them with his current supplies would be a struggle. Unless the technology underwent a leap forward, Zhang Yi couldn't possibly agree. However, Lu Karen's attention was quickly drawn to the massive mechanical life form subdued beside them. She glided over slowly, gazing down from the sky at this colossal monster. Her eyes widened in awe as she circled it, silently admiring it as if it were an unparalleled masterpiece. Zhang Yi remarked, "Bring this thing back for thorough study. Its technological sophistication is high, and its combat power rivals that of Black Chariot rank mutants. If we could decipher its technology, heh." A vivid, enticing vision filled Zhang Yi's mind. Perhaps he too could forge such a mechanical legion to fight in his stead. Remote control would suffice. Why risk life and limb in close combat anymore? Yet Zhang Yi knew full well that even for an advanced civilization like the mechanical civilization, mass-producing colossal mechanical life forms remained impossible. So this idea remained just that, a fantasy. Unless Lu Karen broke through Epsilon someday, there was only a sliver of possibility. Moreover, supplies and energy were equally massive problems to solve. Lu Karen piloted the Snow Owl, its mechanical arm pointing at the colossal mechanical life form. She asked Zhang Yi, "Brother, can I go inside and take a look?" Zhang Yi replied, "I know you're eager, but hold your horses. This thing is enormous. If you start studying it, you won't wrap your head around it for at least 10 days or half a month. So let me stow it away first. We'll give you time to research it thoroughly later." Lu Karen shook her head. "I know, but I'm just curious. What kind of energy core powers such a colossal machine? Human energy technology hasn't seen any major breakthroughs in the last 100 years. It's either fuel engines or batteries. But no matter how I think about it, neither of those could possibly power something this massive and make it move so smoothly." Zhang Yi said, "I know, but it's an advanced civilization. Their technology must be way ahead." Lu Karen addressed Zhang Yi, "It won't take long. I'll locate its energy hub shortly." The Snow Owl hovered directly before the colossal mechanical life form. Suddenly, 2 crimson beams shot from its eye sockets, sweeping downward from the creature's crown and swiftly completing a full body scan. A structural diagram of the massive mechanical entity materialized before Lu Karen. "Ah, found it. It should be right here." Lu Karen spoke as she piloted the mech straight inside. Zhang Yi confirmed the interior was safe, so he let her enter to investigate. Just then, he sensed an odd gaze fixed on him and instinctively looked downward. Ling held the weapon wrapped in white cloth in her arms, her eyes fixed on him with peculiar intensity. Zhang Yi's heart stirred. He instantly landed on the ground and approached Ling. He stared intently at Ling, a dark gleam in his eyes. "You're still alive?" That type of mechanical life form was difficult even for an ordinary investigation team to handle. After all, it cared not for its own destruction when pursuing its target. Only mutants above 9,000 points could reasonably handle a few units. But if a dozen mass-produced units attacked together, even captain-level mutants would have to give it their all. That's why Bai Li Changqing and the others had been fighting rather desperately at the start. Yet Ling appeared completely unscathed, which immediately aroused Zhang Yi's suspicion. You brought us here, and the Mechanical Civilization's Legion appeared. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be a double agent, would you? Zhang Yi spoke with a smile, yet his eyes held no warmth as they locked onto Ling's. Ling took 2 fearful steps back, waving her hands frantically as she protested, Hey. This was completely accidental, okay? Those tin cans always appear out of nowhere. Even Fmans' most advanced tech can't track them. How could I possibly know? Zhang Yi frowned slightly. He habitually distrusted strangers. But this girl's explanation did make sense. But what if Ling was a spy for the Mechanical Civilization? Just like those Wulwan Empire spies hidden within Huashu Kingdom back then. Zhang Yi knew nothing of the Mechanical Civilization, nor whether it harbored carbon-based life forms. But he never took risks. Xinxin, come help me check her out. The shadow at Zhang Yi's feet slowly unfolded, revealing young Xinxin emerging from the darkness before Ling's large, luminous eyes widened. Hey, what are you going to do to me? I'm just a guide. Her expression suddenly turned aggrieved as she pleaded with Zhang Yi, Lord Chaos, you are Huashu Kingdom's #1 strongest. You can't kill me over some baseless accusation. Zhang Yi sneered coldly, I won't kill you. I'll just ask you some questions. Just answer obediently. As he spoke, the divine refinement in his hand instantly transformed into chains that coiled around her body. Behind Yang Xinxin, a 6-winged angel materialized. Though Yang Xinxin hadn't deliberately enhanced her abilities, under Zhang Yi's arrangements, every mutant within the shelter had seen their ability indexes rise. This was mainly due to the abundance of Yuan stone veins, allowing the cultivated earth centipedes to be used without regard for consumption. Now, her own powers had clearly strengthened too, for the 6-winged angel appeared almost lifelike. Hey! Don't shoot me with that arrow. I'm gonna die. Ling, seeing the 6-winged angel draw its bow and aim at her head, struggled frantically. But she was bound tightly by Zhang Yi, making her struggles comically futile, like a fish gasping for air. Yang Xinxin paid no heed to her protests, releasing the arrow without hesitation. The crimson shaft pierced her forehead. Ling's gaze shifted instantly, becoming gentle and submissive toward Yang Xinxin. Speak. What was your purpose in bringing us here? Did someone instruct you? Ling answered meekly, my boss and the big boss, oh, that's the man right here and the yellow-haired hunk not far away, sent me to bring you here. My goal was just to collect the commission and then live out my days doing nothing but eating and waiting to die. Zhang Yi stared at Ling and asked in a deep voice, are you hiding anything from us? Ling fell silent, her expression darkening as if deep in thought. But soon, she answered, I think Chaos is incredibly handsome and powerful. I wish I could have sex with this man. As she spoke, she stole a glance at Zhang Yi, her cheeks flushing crimson. Zhang Yi was speechless. He was expecting a pleasant surprise, but it turned out to be wishful thinking. Ahem, but looking at it another way, could this also be considered a kind of unexpected gain? Still, it wasn't entirely meaningless. Being naturally cautious, this approach would prevent any issues with his guide in Fmans. Still, arriving in Fmans only to encounter the Mechanical Legion, was that really such a coincidence? He voiced his doubts aloud. But Yang Xinxin smiled and said, brother, it's no coincidence. What you focus on comes back to you. Since you've been tracking their footsteps all along, encountering them is only natural. Zhang Yi nodded. True, he had been seeking traces of mechanical civilization all along. After Yang Xinxin's ability wore off, Ling stared wide-eyed at her and Zhang Yi, her expression utterly devastated. She trembled as she pointed a finger at them. How? How could you? You spied on all my private details. She felt utterly mortified right then and there. Jiao. Is this something you just blurt out in front of others? Don't you know you can't just spill a girl's secrets like that? Zhang Yi whistled, his gaze drifting elsewhere. What just happened? Oh, right. I should go check on old Deng and the others. With that, he grabbed Yang Xinxin and vanished from the spot. The battlefield was quickly cleared. Bailey Chongqing and the others collected over a dozen intact mechanical life forms. The rest had been destroyed. Surveying the vast battlefield, Zhang Yi remarked, "I'm a frugal person, I never waste a single grain of rice." With that, he set to work, gathering up every discarded mechanical life form from the battlefield. Deng Shintong approached with a peculiar expression, tugging at Zhang Yi's sleeve. "Boss, you're one of Huashu Kingdom's top-tier powerhouses. Acting like this, people will think we're junk collectors." Zhang Yi shot him a look. "What do you know? Collecting this stuff might let us build a mechanical army after repairs. Even if scrapped, the melted metal would be top-notch material." During his battle with the colossal mechanical life form, he'd already sensed the extraordinary strength of these machines' materials. Though not as strong as metal, their sheer quantity made up for it. Deng Shintong sighed deeply. "No wonder you achieve great things." He pondered for a moment, then decided to follow Zhang Yi's example and start collecting a couple of mechs to bring back. But even the smallest ostrich-type mechanical life form weighed 1 or 2 tons and was so large, he simply had nowhere to store it. Deng Shintong let out another sigh to the heavens. Space abilities are so convenient. Ling quickly caught up, though her expression had returned to calm. Whether it was real or pretending, he couldn't tell. But since things had already happened, she'd still need to guide Zhang Yi and the others. Most likely, she'd have to pretend to have memory loss. "Boss, with such a big haul this time, shouldn't we?" She grinned and rubbed her fingers together, eyeing Deng Shintong. Previously, she'd asked Zhang Yi for payment, knowing he was the wealthiest, but now she felt awkward approaching him. Deng Shintong promptly settled her payment on the spot. Naturally, he used the latest international currency. With this, she could directly exchange for supplies at official institutions in major nations. Currency was indispensable in the age of civilization. It enabled the flow of goods. Humans needed to exchange resources. Zhang Yi collected every mechanical life form in the entire area. Now, the city appeared as if it had never endured the invasion of mechanical civilization. Beyond the ruins and the massive crater at its center, nothing remained. Just then, Lu Karen sent Zhang Yi a message, her tone brimming with excitement. "Brother, I found it. I found it. Come quickly." Zhang Yi swiftly headed over. Deng Shintong and the others stayed close behind him. The group arrived before the remains of the colossal mechanical life form. Lu Karen's mecha halted at a massive fracture and flew toward Zhang Yi and the others. Zhang Yi and the others clearly saw that Snow Owl's 2 mechanical arms were holding a massive polyhedron. It was dark silver throughout, yet inlaid with numerous ruby-like crystals. Its entire body shimmered with a metallic luster, mysterious yet brimming with cyberpunk tech aesthetics. Is that the core of the supersized mechanical life form? Zhang Yi guessed what it was. Lu Karen approached Zhang Yi, and Snow Owl's mechanical arms presented the polyhedron like a treasure, pushing it toward him. "Brother, look! This is pure art, a miracle of mechanical engineering." Zhang Yi didn't understand art. But he could sense the immense power contained within this perfectly structured polyhedron. Zhang Yi reached out to touch it. After sensing its energy, he confirmed one thing. The mechanical life forms of the mechanical civilization were truly just high-level robots. They weren't new creations born from the fusion of flesh and machinery like the mutants. Because the energy core of this thing was fundamentally different from the mutants' origin source. The energy source measured only about a meter in diameter, appearing almost petite compared to the colossal frame of the supersized mechanical life form. Zhang Yi couldn't make any sense of it. It appeared seamless, showing no mechanical traces whatsoever. Even magnified through intelligent devices, no signs of machining were visible, as if it had been born entirely naturally. The material used for the core remained unknown, yet its toughness surpassed even E-metal. After studying it for a while, Zhang Yi remarked, "We should thoroughly research this thing." Lu Karen leapt out of the mech, her eyes burning as she fixed them on the energy core. "Let me handle this, brother." Her hands touched the energy core, and the ability, Divine Machinist, activated. This ability allowed her to comprehend the structure of any substance, analyze it, and even alter its properties. Theoretically, anything she touched could be replicated. An aura of supernatural energy shone around Lu Karen. Soon, she opened her eyes, her gaze growing increasingly excited as she studied the energy core. The energy contained within is incredibly abundant. "Brother, if we could decipher this technology, our industrial capabilities would advance tremendously." Pointing at the energy source, she said to Zhang Yi, "Especially this red energy form, it's a higher level energy than yuan. Per unit, it releases over 1,000 times more energy than a yuan stone." Zhang Yi pondered for a moment, grasping the crux of the matter. "So we could shrink power supply devices? Even give a car rocket-level thrust?" Lu Karen nodded. "That's just one benefit. Truly, if we master this technology completely, our gains would be unimaginable." She gazed at the massive energy source as if it were a treasure trove. Its value surpasses even a single spirit of sacrifice. Zhang Yi glanced at the people beside him. Deng Shintong's heavenly god Squad and Ling weren't his people. But soon, Zhang Yi abandoned his plan to keep them in the dark. Because the mechanical civilization's invasion was already in full swing across the land of Fmans. Everyone knew these mechanical lifeforms were crafted by a superior civilization and contained advanced science and technology. Keeping it hidden was impossible. This is one of the immense benefits of contacting the underground civilization. No wonder so many nations and powerful factions worldwide risk heavy casualties to explore underground. Zhang Yi remarked with a sigh. "All right then, this matter is yours to handle." Lu Karen scratched her head. "This involves a massive amount of calculations. It might be difficult for me to manage alone." She glanced at Yang Xinxin beside her and said with a grin, "Let Xinxin come help me." Yang Xinxin nodded. She whispered to Zhang Yi, "The core of mechanical lifeforms lies in three aspects. First is power supply, second is the operating system, third is materials. We must understand their operational principles. That way, when we face them next, we won't be at a disadvantage. Brother, store this big guy in Muyan's shadow space. Also, give me an undamaged mass-produced unit. I'll study it thoroughly." Zhang Yi nodded. "All right, I'll leave this matter to you too." Zhang Yi himself wasn't idle either. Having discovered abundant mineral deposits in this area, he naturally gathered them all. Wherever he passed, it was like locusts sweeping through, everything of value was stored away in his dimensional space. Ah well, no choice. While other mutants had powerful factions backing them, Zhang Yi relied entirely on himself. Thus, he had to live frugally. Lu Karen and Yang Xinxin, meanwhile, took the captured mechs into Muyan's shadow space for study. While still clearing the battlefield, Zhang Yi's communication device suddenly received a call request. It was Prodaja, the god of fishing and hunting, a member of the pantheon he'd met before. Zhang Yi smiled faintly. I didn't expect them to notice so quickly. After all, this massive battle had occurred on Fmans territory, it couldn't have escaped their notice. The satellite systems orbiting the heavens weren't exactly idle. Zhang Yi still accepted the call. After all, he was on their turf, proper etiquette had to be observed. The video feed instantly displayed Prodaja's beaming face. "Mr. Chaos, we've detected intense combat fluctuations in the Far East region. Currently, only your team is active there. May we ask what occurred?" Zhang Yi saw no point in concealing the truth, it was futile anyway. Shortly after arriving in the Far East, we entered a ruined city to investigate the movements of the mechanical civilization. We were ambushed by a mechanical legion. But it's all settled now. We've dealt with them. Zhang Yi's tone was as calm as if he'd just finished afternoon tea. The shock on Prodaja's face didn't escape Zhang Yi's notice. You mean? You've already dealt with that mechanical legion? Zhang Yi couldn't fathom the source of Prodaja's astonishment. For him, the battle had been sudden but presented no challenge. Only a few of his mutants suffered minor injuries, not a single one had fallen in combat. Little did he know the profound shock rocking Prodaja's mind at that moment. After the disturbances in Fmans, they had repeatedly dispatched powerful forces from the pantheon to handle the situation. Yet they had lost 2 high-level pantheon mutants and hundreds of thousands of elite soldiers, still retreating steadily on the battlefield. Now, their capital, Kirin, had fallen, and they had been forced to abandon the entire Far East region. But this force from Huashu Kingdom had annihilated an entire mechanical legion in less than 20 minutes. Prodaja couldn't believe his ears. As a high-ranking commander of Fmans, he knew full well the terrifying power of those mechanical life forms. Moreover, every mechanical legion inevitably contained those supersized mechanical life forms. The reason was simple: without such colossal machines, rapid excavation operations would be impossible. In a sense, these mechanical life forms were integrated work and combat units. He vividly recalled the assault on Kirin City, when 5 such colossal mechanical entities had erupted from the ground, overwhelming the Pantheon's mutants for a critical moment. Especially that defensive force field, it had rendered several Black Chariot-level mutants utterly helpless. Unable to shake his disbelief, he asked, "Mr. Chaos, might I inquire about the scale of your mechanical legion?" Zhang Yi pondered briefly before replying, "Roughly 40 to 50,000 units." Prodaja swallowed hard. 40 to 50,000 units, that was the scale of a massive mechanical legion. Then, have you encountered any of those exceptionally large mechanical life forms, the ones as tall as skyscrapers? Zhang Yi nodded. Ah, I encountered one. But I took care of it. At these words, an unusual gleam flashed rapidly in Prodaja's eyes. His throat moved, and his expression turned to flattery. Zhang Yi felt an uneasy feeling in his gut when he saw this expression. Sure enough, Prodaja immediately smiled and said, "Mr. Chaos, thank you so much for your assistance to Fmans as our friend. You did an excellent job. I want to express my most sincere gratitude on behalf of everyone in Fmans, from top to bottom. After such a great battle, you and your team must be exhausted. Please find a place to rest as soon as possible. As for that battlefield, I will send people to clean it up promptly. Such trivial matters, how could I possibly trouble you with them?" From the moment Zhang Yi first met Prodaja, he hadn't been very fond of the man. His face was unpleasant to look at, and his words and actions always gave off an air of shrewdness, not as a compliment, but as a criticism. A truly intelligent person doesn't make it obvious to everyone that they're clever. Those who wear their intelligence on their sleeves are the type who nitpick over every little thing, unwilling to suffer even the slightest loss. And no one enjoys spending time with such people. Zhang Yi sneered inwardly, a slow smile curling his lips. So Prodaja intended to take all the spoils? Seems they come for nothing. No need. Cleaning up the battlefield is a minor task we can handle ourselves. Besides, these mechanical life forms appear quite intriguing. We'll need to study them ourselves. Zhang Yi deliberately phrased it this way, wanting to gauge Prodaja's true stance. Prodaja's face remained plastered with a smile. You've traveled far. Fmans is bitterly cold, making such tasks inconvenient. We have specialized engineering units here in Fmans designed for precisely this. Let us handle it. At this point, he suddenly seemed to remember something, slapping his forehead. Oh, rest assured. If you're worried about the spoils distribution, trust a sincere Fmans man, he'd never let his friends suffer even the slightest loss. We'll sort the valuable supplies, store them according to their worth, and let you collect them at your convenience. Or we can ship them back to Huashu Kingdom for you. Prodaja wore a sincere smile, while Zhang Yi merely narrowed his slanted eyes slightly. Oh, my dear comrade. I have every faith in your sincerity. However, Zhang Yi swiveled the camera to reveal the surrounding ruins. Probaja then saw the entire city in ruins. Not a single mechanical life form remained, not even fragments. Perhaps you're unaware, but I'm a space ability mutant. Admittedly, our numbers are thin, and a little cleanup is troublesome, so I've collected all the spoils. Probaja remained unaware of Zhang Yi's abilities. Yet seeing the utterly empty battlefield filled him with unbearable anguish. Fmans was not a wealthy nation. They had already suffered significant losses in their war against the mechanical civilization. If they could claim an entire mechanical legion's supplies for themselves, it would help them recover considerably. Yet, competing with a neighboring nation that came to aid them for the spoils felt utterly disgraceful. Probaja's words sounded reasonable, he'd store it for them and return it later. But once it was in their hands, the most valuable parts would undoubtedly be kept. Probaja's smile froze on his face. After a long pause, he managed a forced smile and said, "Truly worthy of the title Lord Chaos. However, as a commander of Fmans, I have an unreasonable request." Zhang Yi was already growing impatient with him. Yet, considering the substantial gains this time and the previous aid from the pantheon, he mustered his patience and asked, "Oh? What might that be?" Probaja declared, "We request that you grant us possession of that colossal mechanical life form. We require it for research to develop countermeasures. On the current battlefield, these entities pose an immense threat to us. To ensure human civilization prevails in this war against the mechanical civilization, I trust you would be willing to assist us in this endeavor, correct?" After speaking, Probaja fixed Zhang Yi with an intense stare, his eyes conveying an indefinable mix of pleading and pressure. The smile on Zhang Yi's face grew broader. "All right." Before a trace of a smile could appear on Probaja's face, Zhang Yi continued. "I have the world's finest team working diligently to crack its code. When we succeed, I'll share the intelligence with you." Probaja grew impatient. He knew full well what invaluable secrets lay within the body of such a colossal mechanical life form. Even for Fmans, it had taken years of research and the intervention of their strongest warrior to successfully capture just one. Once decoded, that unique energy form could propel Fmans' entire scientific advancement forward by centuries. Mr. Chaos, Fmans possesses the most specialized team. Zhang Yi raised a hand to cut him off. "Mr. Probaja, are you serious?" Zhang Yi stared intently at Probaja's face, wearing an expression that was neither quite a smile nor quite a frown. "Talking about technological prowess and you, Fmans, are negotiating with me?" Probaja opened his mouth, yet still couldn't bring himself to give up so easily. "This matter is settled. We'll handle it ourselves." Zhang Yi said coldly, "See you back at the base." With that, Zhang Yi ended the call. Had he not sensed potential gains here, Zhang Yi would have left long ago given his temperament. "Dude, I came to help, and this is the attitude you give me? But now? Humph." Even if Fmans begged him to leave, he wouldn't budge. Mechanical civilization, this is a colossal treasure trove. Zhang Yi grinned, already planning to collect more of these mechanical life forms. Samran City. After Zhang Yi cut off the video call, Probaja angrily cursed several times. He pondered for a moment before seeking out the ever-reliable Alexei. "Purin, the man you sent is utterly disrespectful. He entered Fmans' territory and should have followed our orders. How dare he act on his own? And after defeating an entire mechanical legion, he kept all the rewards for himself. Those resources belong to Fmans." Probaja vented furiously in front of Alexei.